Okay,
You're on.
ladies and gentlemen, we'll call the meeting to order, 7 o'clock. And first off will be approval of the agenda. Everybody's looked at the agenda. Any questions?
So move.
Second.
And as approved. Now, the minutes. Our minutes from last time, anything special? Anybody, you've all looked through those, I guess. I didn't see anything out of order. Anybody else see anything?
I will move that the minutes be adopted as approved as written.
Second.
Thank you. Now, off to the first item. Item number 3, the 2013 third quarter programming report from Jerry.
Okay, we've got the third quarter there, pretty much average, maybe a little below what our average is, but
Anything?
nothing that pops out, I would say, that,
Nothing extraordinary.
nope.
Everybody's happy with that? Any questions?
Well, I'll make a motion to accept the polls as they are part of the program.
Moved. 4, operation of channel 6 and 12 after November 1st.
Maybe what we should do is, Warren, you want to give us an update as that we have to sit council meeting Monday?
Oh, I just mentioned that we were retirement, we were moving things off and moving the programming other than the digital time, temperature, news, and so on.
It would just be the character generator would be running?
Yep, on
Character
6 Central.
generator.
Okay.
And that during that time, he'd be updating equipment, digitizing, 1,000 or 10,000
Yeah.
discs, and basically then meeting to establish some policies, operational parameters, and procedures, so that when they get ready to get started again, everything will be updated and ready to go.
So you submitted a
Limited
proposal?
contract, yes.
Okay, a new limited contract that would take place to the contract you have now with the
Yeah,
city and
until
CMAT? Okay.
the city hires someone else to take over Johnson.
Okay. So the Channel 6 will still be operational, but only as a character generator?
Right.
And Heather, you're going to be updating that then? What about all of the ads and things like that
Yep.
you had going? Those will still be
Those
on
would
this?
still be going.
Okay. But no program? What about taping? What about the churches and when they?
I've talked to all the churches and I've recommended to them that they continue to tape their services just for their own purposes.
Okay.
But we won't be taping anything.
You
The only
won't be
thing we
airing
may
it.
tape is, and I know I got an email, or Heather sent me an email from St. Francis. They have their choir and orchestra concerts coming up in December. And I'm going to email them back that I would be willing to volunteer my time, and then but what they'd have to do is compensate Mike for his time.
Okay.
But it would be up to, we'll be through Channel 6. We'll be just me volunteering to do that. And they're going to have to, I'm also going to tell them that they have to line up people to haul stuff up
Okay.
to the choir loft at St. Francis and take it down, because I'm not going to do that anymore.
But
so.
the tape you're generating is going to be their tape?
No, it'll be our tape.
Okay.
And we'll air it
What-
whenever Channel 6 comes back on.
Okay, so it'll be archived and
Yeah,
then...
because I've been
aired.
archiving all the concerts
Sure,
for the
okay.
last 7-8 years.
All right, all right. But-
I'd hate to miss.
But nothing will be put on Channel 6
Until it
until
comes back
an updated contract with a new vendor, a new organization that'll run Channel 6.
And that
And
was
is that gonna be
approved by the
somewhere-
city.
somewhere in the agenda? Are we
Yes,
gonna
and
talk
they-
about that?
They also approved the monetary.
And just so you know, because I guess there was a little understanding at the city council meeting, that I recommend, right now, they pay me $74.83.33 a month to operate Channel 6. My limited contract, I recommended $3,000. And just so you know, that's not $3,000 that's going into my pocket. I'm paying the rent here, which is about $800. Utilities which is about $100. I'm still paying Heather, still paying Mike.
So you will keep
So all that is coming
the
out of
plant
that
in
$3,000.
operation then?
Plus, there's gonna be some stuff that's gonna have to be bought with the upgraded equipment that we're gonna be doing in November.
Speaking of the equipment, what are you gonna do with all the equipment?
That's on the agenda.
Oh, okay, all right, we want to move into this. Okay, so we've got are we done with number 4 now? Operations of.
Well, just so you know, yeah,
Okay.
starting October 31st will be the last day of programming on Channel 6 until a new organization is hired to take over operation.
Do you have something on Channel 6?
I haven't yet. I wanted to make sure what happened to the city because I didn't want to overstep my bounds. Because I know darn well if I would have put something up, somebody would have
So
said,
you'll put a
"Well, wait a
disclaimer
minute,
out there
the
on
city
what's
didn't
going on."
approve that yet." So I waited until the city approved. Now I'm gonna have Heather probably tomorrow put something on Channel 6. Notify
Are we hoping that whoever the new organization is that does this is going to maintain Heather and Mike as staff?
We'll talk about that when we get to it.
Okay. All right, are we done with 4?
Yes.
Okay, 4 is completed. Number 5, the video server specification change.
That's becoming complicated. I'm getting conflicting information every time I check into this. So at one time, if you remember our last meeting, I was talking about buying an HD server, which was going to be about $21,500.
Right.
Then I talked to Rudy Vigil, who runs Wilmer, and I said, I'm going to give him a call because they just put one in last year.
Right.
Well, I found out from him that he just put in an analog server. And I said, well,
Really?
Rudy, why'd you do that? And he said, well, number one, it's probably going to be 4 or 5 years before Charter goes to HD. So he said, for the price of an analog server, it probably makes more sense to buy that. He said, if you do go HD, you will still be able to use the analog server. So
Right.
it's not going to be a waste of money if we go analog right now. And then when Charter switches to HD,
You will get state of the art then
Well,
instead of coming in
yeah.
with something 5 years old.
then probably
Okay.
what we'll have is we'll have 2 servers. We'll have
Yeah.
2 servers then, an analog server and an HD server. And it kind of makes, the more I thought about it, it makes sense because all our programming right now are thousands of
Right.
DVDs are all analog.
Yeah.
So why put them on an HD server if they're all analog?
Okay.
When we go HD, we'll buy an HD server and everything that we record from there out, which is HD, we'll put on the HD server.
Is there a substantial price difference between
Well,
the
that's
two?
the reason I'm confused is I've been contacting Todd. He sent me a quote for the analog and it was only $3,000 less than the HD. So I'm
Wow.
going, and
That
then
doesn't
Rudy
seem like a big
told me the analog was only about $8,700. So I got to call Todd tomorrow and say,
Okay.
what's going on here?
Yeah, yeah.
So I don't know. We'll have to have a meeting in November to talk about the server, and I'll figure out what's going on by then.
Anybody
You'll
out
get
there
it.
jumping the gun that wants to sell an old analog one?
Well, I wouldn't buy an old one. I'd want to buy a new one.
Okay.
We'll. I'll get that sorted out, and come November, you're going to get a couple quotes on either an analog or an HD, depending on what I find out. Okay.
Sounds good. Any other questions on that? Okay, off to number 6. Equipment donation to the city from PAV.
Okay, one of the things I always planned on doing when I decided to hang it up would be, over the last 7 years now, I probably purchased probably close to $30,000 worth of equipment. Technically, according to our contract, and was spelled out very clearly to me when I signed the contract back in, 2006, was that anything that's purchased through my company is my property. So everything, all that $30,000 of equipment that I purchased over the last 7 years is technically my equipment. Well, that's never what I intended when I bought the stuff. I intended to, like those monitors, all the 3 computers, the 2 in the edit suites and the 1 on my desk, I'm not going to go and take that all home and stuff like that. So my intention was always, when I discontinued my contract, I was just going to put an itemized list together and donate it to the city. Well, I talked to my accountant last week, and of course it's never that simple. What I found out is if I wanted to just donate all $30,000 at once, I would have to get somebody who's knowledgeable in this type of equipment to appraise it. It would require an appraisal. And I said, and even my accountant said, I don't know where those people are, where they exist. I don't know where a person that is knowledgeable, appraiser that's knowledgeable about this equipment. But he said what you can do legally is if it's under $5,000, you can donate.
Per year.
Per year. So what I'm planning on doing and what my accountant recommended is come November, December, I'll be submitting a letter to the city donating up to $5,000 worth of the equipment. January, I'll probably give them another letter stating that I'm going to donate another $5,000. So that'll be $10,000. So this process is probably going to take 4 or 5 years to get
Now, have
the
you put a
equipment.
dollar amount on this that you're,
Yes, what
Okay.
I'll do is I'll submit the
You have an
letter to the
inventory.
city and they'll itemize each
Okay.
individual and what it's worth.
Sure.
And, I'm going to leave the stuff down here. I'm not going
Right.
to take it home and store
but
it.
this is for IRS that we're talking about?
Right, it's just for my purposes, so I get the tax write-off and stuff like that. So over the next 4 or 5 years, that $25,000, $30,000 will get turned over to the city's books, but it's going to be a little more work than I thought it was going to be. So.
What is PAV?
Public access video, that's what I call
Okay,
it.
that's the other one. That's different than CMAT then?
Yeah.
Okay.
I purposely did that. I was thinking ahead. When I formed this thing 7 years ago, I said, if I just call myself Central Minnesota Access Television and I leave, that name goes with me. And I said, well, that makes so sense. I want the name to stay, so I formed 2 entities. My business is Public Access Video, but we also have Central Minnesota Access Television. That's going to stay with the city, but PAV, my company, is going to be staying with me.
Everybody square with that? Any other questions? Okay, let's move on then. Now we know. Now, and of course, the inventory list will be available and after the city views it. Then,
Right.
okay. 7, limited contract proposal to the city from PAV.
Yeah,
Again,
so
Public
from
Access
what
Video.
Lauren said, they approved it, or it will be approved. I don't think they haven't put a contract together yet.
Okay.
That'll be Tony, I'm assuming, is gonna put some type of contract together that's stated pretty much. What I've stated is what we'll do during the time between November 1st and when they contract with someone else. We'll keep channels 6 and 12, bulletin boards running. I'm gonna do some rewiring down here. We wanna put up that big monitor that's going to go on that. When we put in the digital server, these new servers are like 6 inches deeper than what the present stuff is. So we gotta take that whole equipment rack in my office and move it forward about
Really?
6 inches. Yeah. So there's gonna be a lot of work involved.
Well, at least we won't be drilling in concrete like we did up at the school.
I don't know what these, I am assuming these are
These are
wood.
wood.
So, yeah, that was,
Remember that one? That was.
but I'm gonna probably have to contract with you sometime
okay.
to help us move those
Sure.
equipment racks, so.
Okay.
But there's
Interesting.
some gonna work in it, and there's a whole lot of little things I wanna, I got a new, switcher that's gonna go up in the control room, so there's a lot of little things it's gonna be nice to have time to get that done and not have to worry about working around
Sure.
the
Gotta
programming.
get your cameras wired then and get all that
Every-
done?
yeah. I've got those all up there, but they're not wired yet, so I gotta get some wired. No, she can't have it.
Bummer.
Ask him how many times I tried.
I know. He told
told
me,
you?
yes. Okay,
So
Any
anyway,
questions
and
on-
that,
yeah,
what, the way that I stated, that way the contract should be written, that'll go on until either I give them, let's say I decide to head out somewhere in December, so there's a 2 weeks notice instead of a 2 month, it's a 2 week notice. Either I give them or until they hire somebody.
So
to
this
take
is not an on infinitum perpetuity, this is just a very limited type of contract you're dealing with. And of course, do we have something yet? We did number 8 that talks about somebody replacing you.
Well, yeah, the city did receive a letter from Great River Arts
Okay,
here
here,
about their interest in maybe taking over Channel 6. I met with them about a month ago, had a very good meeting. My concern has always been, the one thing I didn't want to see is have somebody, either a person or an organization, come in and take over Channel 6, just seeing it as a money pool, you know. I wanted, whoever takes it over, I was hoping is gonna be as, you know, just like me wanting to, has a,
just public service more
yeah,
than anything.
yeah,
Just-
value in doing public access more than just a job. So after meeting with Great River Arts, they see it as something that's gonna fit their future plans and help promote the stuff they do down here. So I got a good feeling about it, and I think they put a good letter together that went to the city. My feeling is that would be a good direction to go.
Do they have a director who is going to be
Oh yeah, and that's kind of answers the question you were asking before.
competent
Their
to
intent,
handle all this equipment?
their intent is going to be to continue to contract with both Heather and Mike,
Right.
and they're going to also temporarily probably contract with me for I don't know how long, just to get them through. You know, I'm going to work with Heather and Mike to take over my responsibilities. You know, so they're going to have an increase in hours because they're going to take over the stuff that I used to do. Once we get to that point, I'll be able to at least contractually pull out. I'll still plan on volunteering time.
Once you do that, once you hand the reins over, then your $3,000 a month contract with the city will be terminated.
Right.
Then the stipend that would go to GRAA would not be in place, then they would have to run this program on their
Right.
own.
And I'm assuming it would be the same dollar amount that they used to contract with me.
Okay, with the city, they would get the per diem money that comes from charter
Yeah,
anyway.
that's the
Okay.
intent of that. That
Okay.
comes from the
And
cable.
just the other
Sure,
thing
yeah.
also is that contract-wise, I don't think they're gonna have to change the contract much. The only thing that they're gonna have to put into the contract is saying that whoever takes it over is gonna have to follow the policies that have been established by the city regarding our operation of local access program.
Now, my next question is, would our advisory board be working with GRAA then?
Yeah, they would, yeah. Then GRA would be working with you instead of me.
Okay, with our group, okay.
And just so you know, I guess I didn't put that on as a separate item, but, no, I did. One of the things I've been having Heather do and I've been working on is searching the internet for other local access channels, and a lot of them have their policies on their website.
Okay.
So we've been pulling down samples of policies from other local access channels, and I'm going to put that all together, and probably in December I'm going to meet with you folks, present those policies, my recommendation of policies to you guys.
To us and GRAA.
Yeah, because GRA is going to have to live by those.
Right, because we want something in place that's going to work.
And
Not
then
gonna
once
be
you
a
get them, then
hodgepodge.
you'll have to make that recommendation to the
The
city,
city
and the
would have
city
to-
will approve those.
You
Go
can't
along.
make the assumption that GRAA will be operational.
Yeah, okay.
They are one entity that's interested in doing
Okay.
this.
So, yeah.
So if there are other entities that step forward, then it would be a matter of.
Do you
selecting-
foresee the studio moving then, if that's the case, if somebody else decides that they would want to do it?
If somebody else takes it over, they would operate just like I do right now, where I
And they would
pay
pay the
rent
rent?
to the GRA.
Okay. We don't see a big move anywhere there.
I hope not.
Well, yeah. There's also, there's probably gonna be room over at the Boys and Girls Club. They're only gonna use part of that building, so maybe somebody will wanna, who knows?
I think Habitat's got the rest of it.
Or are they gonna do that?
It'll be a
Okay,
lease store.
that'd be a good idea.
But we'd have to get a fiber over there. There would be a lot of
Oh,
money
yes.
involved.
Oh, I'm sure.
My goal is to.
Well, don't we have one that goes over to the Lincoln?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I've been talking with the school district
Okay.
also, in casual conversation,
Okay.
not specifically about this, but their statement is that they would be interested in possibly taking over the school and the athletic activities. But
Okay.
they were not interested in the community stuff.
No, I wouldn't imagine they would be.
And
It's-
that, if that's the case, see, then things get split. And maybe that's good, maybe that's bad.
And there, you know, a lot of cities run their access that way. You know, local access is called PIG, and what PIG stands for is Public Education,
Education.
Government.
Right, yeah.
And we could be like, you know, and that's an
Brainerd
option.
does
that-
it that way.
No, Brainerd doesn't, but St. Cloud does.
Oh, really?
St. Cloud, you know, the city of St. Cloud, all they run is the government stuff. They don't do anything with the community, and that would be an option if, you know, that the city could explore. I wouldn't recommend it, but all the city of St. Cloud does is governmental programming. No community, no education.
Education is handled through another website then?
Well, another channel.
Yes.
So
Yes.
St. Cloud State runs education
But the
channel.
District 4, whatever it is down in St. Cloud also has their own
Well,
website.
they have a character generator.
Well, don't they do anything on that at all?
Not much.
Oh, really?
I mean, they maybe have their school board.
I've gone by it a few times.
And then they got somebody that's running their public,
Okay.
and I don't know how that works. I think charter pays for that. I don't think the city does, so. But I'm not recommending that. I'm
Okay.
recommending that we
Where
operate
is the
as-
Brainerd studio?
It's at the high school.
Yeah, it's-
But it's not the
But-
schools,
Oh,
It's-
okay.
it's housed
utilized-
in the school,
Okay, all right.
but it's the city. that-
Okay.
yeah. It's run by a nonprofit.
Interesting.
See, but that's where I guess we should decide what this should be like,
Yeah.
rather than find somebody who wants to adapt to however they want to do it. So to maintain continuity and
Just come in with the best fit for our community, obviously. It's
pass on the vision is quite
Yeah.
a trick sometimes.
And I did meet with Steve Jones, the superintendent, and I did say, you know, I think it's only logical. As a matter of fact, when we get into the negotiations for franchise renewal with charter, one of the things we're gonna request when we go into the franchise is a third public or access channel, which we would then turn over to the school. So then we would have 6 and 12, and then the school would have their channel
Interesting.
to do their education.
Interesting.
They can do all the programming and everything on that?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
They have enough to keep even a 10-hour.
Well, I've got, you know, that backlog.
Well, who would be doing a character generator for them then? Would
Well,
they
I
do
told-
something
I-
on site?
When I talked to Steve,
Yeah,
I said,
okay.
you guys gotta be aware of this, that, you
Yeah,
know, you're
this
gonna
is-
have to hire personnel
Right.
to take this thing over if you intend to do it, so
Right.
he's
It can't-
aware of that.
It can't be just a part-time job for a teacher, like a coaching job. This is gonna be a big deal.
Yeah.
He's aware of that, and I
Okay.
said, you got 2 years to figure it out. So,
Wow. Interesting.
I
Wow.
talked with Steve
This is a
and
real can
Mark
of worms
Beal
then.
and mentioned that whoever, if they decided to go this route, it had to be an assignment to an individual.
Right.
Accountability.
And you may also notice, you know, of that $20-some thousand worth of equipment that I have down here, some of that equipment might help to get them started, so I may donate some of that equipment to the school to get them started too.
Well, it's your right to do that. It's your equipment. Yes.
But in
That
that
may be
case, could you give 5 to this and 5 to them?
Yeah,
So you could clean it
Yep.
up quicker.
Yep. But anyway.
Per
that's-
year? I thought you were maxed
year.
$5,000 per year per
Entity.
Oh, per
Per
entity. Oh, that makes it nice. So you could actually give $5,000 to Thor, and $5,000 here, $5,000
I
here.
could do that.
Yes, you can.
I'm
Taking
not
care of
gonna,
it
but
one
I
year.
could do that.
Hey, I like that. But you're not going to? Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Trouble is,
Well, it was
we
a thought.
I guess I could send you all to the NAB. No, that's not equipment. That's not equipment.
Give this some thought before you decide
Well,
so.
that was,
Jeez, yeah, that's not a good deal. Well, a bummer then. Okay, so 8's taken care of, and a letter is in place at the city from GRAA and possibly others, so, but we'll
Yeah,
be kept up to
At this
date
point,
on that,
you know,
yeah.
it's open.
Sure, okay. Okay, number 9, GRAA remodeling, which is
As you
here.
can see, things are a little chaotic back here. They're doing some remodeling there on the front end, so a lot of the stuff got moved back here. A lot of this is gonna be thrown out. If you need a desk by, by chance, grab one as you leave, and, because I think all these desks are gonna be thrown, so. So
Right
anyway,
away.
but I'm working with Great Barrage. My goal is to get the back end usable so we could actually use this back area as another studio. And they're in agreement with that, so.
Well, that was always the thought, wasn't it, to just kind of open this thing up for
Yeah.
larger presentations?
And it kind of worked out pretty nice, being that they're going through all this and we're not gonna be using the studio for the next 2 months. So it kind of worked out time-wise pretty well, so. But just when you see the mess back here, I'm hoping by January 1st that it'll be all cleaned up.
Do they plan to put in a ceiling?
Huh?
Do they plan to put in a ceiling?
No, I wouldn't recommend it.
But what about the noise from the,
That's something, because of
To
this
live with
building, we have to live with. What
but
we
I mean,
usually
as far
do,
as taping,
Huh?
and as far as taping and doing a performance here?
what we can do is, when we're doing a taping, we turn that thing off.
If it's 40 below zero outside,
We live.
Yeah. You know, the worst came to worst, the best thing to do is spray it with a black acoustical.
But even, I don't think
And
even
I
the
don't even-
ceiling
yeah.
would deaden
No.
this.
No,
so
but it
much.
would just give you, it'd be easier to,
Plus with the
tape
lighting
in
and
here,
things like the
all the
lighting
drop
up
lighting.
there, it'd be tough to put a false ceiling in.
any other on the remodeling? Any other discussion? Okay, off to number 10. Special cable board meetings in November and December.
Just to let you know that we probably are gonna have to having a couple of meetings in November and December. November, I'm hoping to have the quotes for the digital servers, so probably mid-November for that. And then probably I'm hoping in December, I'll have the policies put together so that I can bring them to this board, so then that they can then go to the city. But I'm hoping it may take longer, it may go into January, but what I'm recommending to the city is they don't even consider looking at for someone else to take over until we got those policies put together and approved.
Being that
Because
you're
it's gonna
civic,
have to go in the contract.
okay, being that you're as civic-minded as you are you going to remain an ex facto member of this committee then?
I don't know about the committee, but I'm planning on staying involved with child science.
Okay, all right,
If, whether it be contracted time, volunteer time,
Consult.
consultant.
whatever, yeah.
Big bucks, big bucks.
Yeah, there you go. Nice title.
Yeah.
So, but you'll keep us updated on
Yeah,
all this and
What's nice
going on.
about this is it's gonna allow me some time. I've got other projects I've always wanted to do. Like the one thing I've been working on, which I've never really had time to pursue, but I'm gonna be able to pursue it now, is I wanna start a state organization for cable channels. We have a state organization right now, BACTA. The only problem is they pretty much cater to the big metros, and most of their time is spent lobbying and legislative and stuff like that. Well, for us local outstate things, rural, that's only one of our hats. We also have to deal with the programming and the technical, and they don't really cover that at the MACTA level. So we actually have a group that we call GMAG, Greater Minnesota Access Group, yeah, GMAG, yeah. So, I've been trying to get that rolling, I just haven't had the time. So I'm hoping starting next year, I'm gonna put more time into that. I've got some of the local people in the area, St. Cloud, Brainerd, Wilmer,
Malacca.
Malacca, no, not Malacca. Where is it? Monaga. So,
Sabika Monaga area.
yeah,
Okay.
but there's some people that are interested in helping me out getting that thing rolling. But I think it could be a worthwhile organization. So, and it's something I think is needed in the state. So, I'm going to pursue that. There's some other
How
projects.
far reaching, are you gonna think like Bemidji, Iron
Yeah.
Range?
We've had Duluth down
okay,
here to meet,
okay.
and
Well, Duluth is kind of, they think themselves as a metro
Yeah.
area. You know,
but I've also
Duluth.
been in contact with like the Moorhead Access
Okay,
and
yeah.
Mankato, so Hutchinson, and we've had cities from. We do quarterly meetings. We were for a while. I haven't done one in a while, but I'm hoping to have one here come November.
So you're kind of the burning ember of the keeping this thing going then?
Yeah,
Somebody
I
has
just-
to do this. 'cause-
I think everyone agrees that it's
Okay.
needed. It just
But
takes
just-
somebody to head it up, and I'm
Yeah,
going to be
okay.
that
Well,
person.
it's a good location too. You're
Oh, yeah, central,
This
yeah.
is as central as you're gonna get.
We're 2 or 3 hours from pretty much anyone. Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, so I'm
Oh,
still
yeah,
gonna
yeah,
stay
yeah.
involved.
Okay.
So,
How quite is that?
something I love and enjoy, and I'm just gonna enjoy the extra time I can take off and go to baseball games,
Okay, and the general.
football
You
games.
might not get out of Green Bay, you might want to stay there.
Greenbush, yeah, Greenbush, yeah.
So it's
You
gonna
could be that guy on the wing with the hat on, talking about that double check guy, yeah.
Hey, Roger commercial, yeah.
Double check, okay, the other section here of our agenda,
that
do we have
anything else?
anything that we want to add that we haven't talked about yet? I can't think of anything here, you'll keep us
We'll
up to
keep you
date?
informed, and I'll keep the community informed on the bulletin boards on 6 and 12, and
Okay.
I've talked to a lot, the churches are aware that this was probably gonna happen, so that's not gonna be a surprise to
And you're
them.
gonna put a disclaimer on,
All the
what's
governmental
going down
entities
and-
are,
and
like
keep us
county,
updated for people.
county school board, city, all know, so we just haven't really let it out.
are
to
you
the public.
going to be taping the city functions? Have you hired anybody to do any taping of it?
Will not
You just
be
don't care, okay.
We never were the official, thing, so, record, so, I mean, as a matter of fact, until a year from now, the city never even requested copies of the meetings. I think they were requesting them now because I think they might send them to their lawyer or something, but,
Okay.
yeah, before, they never even requested copies, so.
So in other words, anybody could come in and tape the city if they were to so desire, but not using your equipment.
I don't know, I mean, Channel 6 is not gonna be running, so.
Okay, but the equipment that's in place now, that's
That's
city
city
equipment.
owned.
That's city owned, right,
City owned.
city owned, that's all that. So if you wanted to, you could have somebody
Yeah, but it won't be
make,
done.
but it won't be done, okay.
We're
And the
waiting to-
county, you've heard from the county, they won't do it either?
Well,
Okay,
I talked to the school board
okay, and the school board won't either.
until we get that going back online.
So unless basically Channel 6 is going to do it, they don't want it done.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. All right. Sounds good to me. Any other
Motion we
questions?
adjourn.
Then we've got it.
Second that.
Second, we're done. 7:30.
Okay, thank you much,
7:33.
folks.
Sorry about
And
that.
I'll give you a good, well, I'll have Heather call around when we want to schedule that meeting in November.
Sounds good.
To find a good time where all you can meet, and I'm hoping it won't be long, because I want to get those quotes approved by the city so we can get it ordered, get it in December, so.
Would they be Wednesday evenings?
Whatever works for, Heather will check, and whatever works for everyone.
Is that generally best Wednesday nights if we stick with
This
this?
is good. Yeah, this is always fine with me.
Okay.
Not a big deal.